Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Madridista Notes. Today, I'm going to be talking about the news that broke out during the day from Spanish journalist Mario Cortegana, and it was, of course, the Kylian Mbappe news. There are news and reports coming out again that Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid are still in contacts. And Mario Cortegana has reported that from a source from the Paris Saint-Germain club that if Kylian Mbappe is to move from PSG to any other club, it will be Real Madrid. And there are other extension. The extension of the report is Real Madrid hasn't really given up on Kylian Mbappe. There have been new contacts, discrete contacts since the World Cup has finished, and Real Madrid are keeping an eye on it. So, confirming these reports that has came out from Mario Cortegana, he has taken interviews from Kylian Mbappe before, just after he extended the contract with Paris Saint Germain, and when the whole Madrid fan base were hating Kylian, and yeah, we were not happy at all. We were really, really angry. At the time, Mario Cortegana had an interview with Kylian Mbappe, and in that interview, Kylian Mbappe kept the doors open and everything. Mario Cortegana said this story is not over, blah blah blah. Madrid fans weren't happy to see his name related to Real Madrid anymore, and we wanted his name stop being linked with Real Madrid. But it looks like it is not going to be stopped, and it will keep being going on. And I don't think it's going to happen this summer because he only signed the extension last summer. And if we know something, it is that PSG will not negotiate with Real Madrid. The relation between PSG and Real Madrid is totally broken. It doesn't matter however much Real Madrid offers. So I think it will be some absurd amount, even if Kylian Mbappe totally forces it and PSG says, okay, if you bring us this much money, we will sell you. The minimum PSG will ask for, if it's this summer, is around 300 million minimum, and that's what I think. And the way we do business nowadays, this board, they are not going to spunk that much money on Kylian Mbappe, even though they are totally obsessed with Kylian Mbappe. Florentino Perez is obsessed with Kylian Mbappe, but still, I see no evidence that Real Madrid are going to spend that much money on Mbappe. So if something is going to happen, and I think Perez will definitely go for him once more. Yeah, Perez has gone multiple times for players he has missed out on, even before. And Mbappe train, I don't know, it feels like it just doesn't leave. It's always there. Even after he signed the contract extension with PSG, he was still flirting, keeping his options open, blah, blah, blah. So I think it's not over. This summer, I definitely don't think we are going for Kylian Mbappe, and I don't think PSG are going to sell us to us anyway. But he has signed a 3-year contract, so this season 1 year is already finished. We are not going for next summer, so another year will be finished. So I think if PSG is going to sell him, and if he totally forces it and makes up a fuss and stuff like that, and Real Madrid put some money on, I think on the summer of 2024, definitely there could be something. So for this summer, it is a non-story. But as you know, with the Real Madrid, the press, with the with the Spanish newspaper and press, they are going to milk it for all it's worth. So get ready to get Kylian updates all day, all night for the next year and a half. Again, it's like the Kylian Mbappe. I don't know. This chapter just doesn't close, and I feel like the fan base, when we were going through good times like La Liga win, Champions League win, we were looking good at the beginning of the season. We didn't want to consider the Kylian option because we felt betrayed. But now that we our goals have dried up, Vinicius isn't in form. We don't have a right wing. The board isn't really splashing anything to improve the squad. The fans are beginning to ponder again because the fans are always going to be we are always going to be like that. We yeah, fans don't have shame. So and it looks like our board, Florentino Perez, is super duper. Yeah, we all already know that he's a cold businessman, so he doesn't really care about those things. I think definitely there is still a chance that we are going for him into in the summer of 2024, and we will just to strap our seat belts on and let's go for the ride once more because this is going to be a story throughout this summer. And I think even though we don't go for him, this story will not go away, and we will just have to deal with it. Even though right now we need a first choice right wing signing for our squad. The board has made it clear they are not going to sign anyone this January transfer window. So let's see what they do in the summer transfer window. We don't have anything that we can control anyway. The people who are in charge, they're in control. So there are reports coming out that the board doesn't understand why they are being criticized so much. It's like the attack is too much. What's not to understand? You guys just totally screw up our whole season by not strengthening the squad properly. And Ancelotti has always shown adverse. He's adverse to giving chances to players coming out of the academy. So how can you expect Ancelotti to suddenly change his approach and giving chances to players like Arribas or whoever else is there in the squad right now? I don't. Vinicius Tobias. Some people are really, really high on Vinicius Tobias. Maybe he's good, maybe he's not. We will have to see because he has already been included in the squad for the Villarreal match tomorrow. And we have some injury updates. Alaba, Chouameni, Carvajal, Vasquez, none of them are ready. None of them are included in the squad for tomorrow. And Ancelotti hasn't brought Modric to Villarreal for the match. He has left Modric in Madrid to continue his recovery because he didn't look anywhere near fit enough to start games for Real Madrid. It's just a waste of time, of his time, of our time to play him in matches now before he gets back his fitness, his physical shape. We shouldn't really entertain him in our in our matches too much. But the problem is Ancelotti isn't even using the only option from the academy who has impressed the board. I guess you can say Arribas has been impressing for the last 2 3 seasons, but there is another new kid who has been impressing us, and that's Nico Pudge. So there are some options in the Castilla squad that Barcelona, even though we hate Barcelona and whatever that club stands for, but what they do is they give their academy players the opportunities to show something. But we don't do that. I don't understand why we don't do that. Under Zidane, in the last 6 months, we started to do it. Zidane was trying to incorporate Sergio Arribas and Miguel Gutierrez in the squad. Miguel Gutierrez had a really good couple of matches. I remember Sergio Arribas was getting some minutes as a substitute, but as soon as Ancelotti came, those things totally stopped. I cannot really blame Ancelotti. He won us the La Liga and Champions League last season. But this season, when your midfield is suffering and players are not physically in shape after the World Cup, you can just call these Castilla players and give them 10 15 minutes and see if they can show something, if they can impress you. Even if you are not even giving them uh, chance, an opportunity for even 10 15 minutes, how will you know if they can provide something for your team? Maybe they can provide something that can help us in the long run. And there's the short termism of Ancelotti because he knows his job can be on the line if he goes, if he doesn't win any major trophies this season. But there's the problem here because the job is on the line always at Real Madrid. The coaches, the managers do not think long term. They go for the short term, and that's why we have the same players playing whenever they are not in form too. I'm not saying they're bad players, but sometimes you can just mix it up a little bit, give them a little, they might need a little nudge on the back, like if you bench them, if you use a youngster in their place, and if that youngster suddenly shines and the fans get behind the youngsters, those experienced players get a kick upside their backs, and they feel like, yeah, this is not good, this kid might take my place in the squad, and then they will try twice as hard, even, yeah. So those things are really really healthy. So I don't know why Ancelotti is not really giving the opportunities to really talented youngsters from the Castilla, as our squad depth is not that good, and the management doesn't see eye to eye as Ancelotti to Ancelotti. Ancelotti wants signings, the management says no. So if you are not going to get signings, they make the best out of what you have got, and you have got the Castilla players to call upon. Or maybe if you gave them a couple of chances and they didn't do well enough, then you can say call the management that you are giving me no other option. I have even called upon the Castilla players. They are not performing for me. I need players. I need bodies. So yeah, there will always be something that the board will fall back on. Like, you didn't use the youth players, you could have used the youth players and stuff like that. So Ancelotti just can use the youth players to shut those board members up, like JS. There are reports coming out that Jose Angel Sanchez, the Real Madrid, really influential. I think he's the managing director or something like that. He is trying to make an assessment. He's trying to make the case for Ancelotti to incorporate a couple of Castilla players into the squad, and Ancelotti wants new players. So the board doesn't see eye to eye on this, and Real Madrid board rarely moves for players in the January transfer window. So the signings are mostly a moot point anyway. I don't expect any signings, and Ancelotti won't get any signings. He knows that. So let's move on from that. Tomorrow is our match against Villarreal. Our squad is really thin. You can see just from the squad list in midfield, we only have Camavinga, Valverde, Cruz, and Ceballos. And I think Ancelotti called upon Mario Martin from Castilla. The problem is I don't have much of knowledge on Mario Martin, because the players that I follow from Castilla are the cream de la crop, because we don't have that much time to follow every player from Castilla. So I have heard of only the players like Arribas, Nico Paj, and a couple of center halves and strikers. That's it. The players who are excelling in Real Madrid. That's it. And suddenly, the all the talks about the player that we brought on loan from Bayer Leverkusen, the Spanish striker, his talks have suddenly died down too. So I don't know. Maybe he hasn't impressed much recently. We will have to see. That's it for today. That was the update on the Mbappe news and the news on the squad for tomorrow's match for Villarreal. Oh, there is some um, other update on Lunin. Ancelotti is not going to use Lunin for the Copa del Rey, even though most of the times the second choice goalkeeper gets the Copa del Rey matches. But there are reports coming out that Ancelotti didn't really notify Lunin about that decision that Courtois is going to play tomorrow and Lunin is going to not going to play. There are reports that Lunin has a lot of offers from Premier League and Bundesliga clubs, and his contract expires in the summer of 2024, and he is going to keep his options open. So, if he wants to move, Real Madrid will facilitate the move, because he's the second choice goalkeeper, and we cannot really keep him and let him run down his contract. If he's not going to sign a contract, we're definitely going to definitely going to sell him. And I think that's a little bit unfair from Ancelotti towards the Lunin, because he hasn't really done anything wrong to get his place taken by Courtois. Courtois is the main goalkeeper, of course, first choice goalkeeper. He plays the La Liga, he plays the Champions League, he plays Super Cup, he plays Club World Cup, everything. So maybe sometimes it should have been fair to give this competition at the very least to Andre Lunin, but that's Ancelotti's decision. He's the coach, and we have to um, yeah, we have to just get on with it. So that's it for today. That's all the updates from the Real Madrid related world for tonight. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. See you next time. Hala Madrid.